So today we're doing a deep dive into tariffs, specifically looking back at the policies from the Trump administration.
And we're trying to get past the slogans based on this statement we've reviewed. Understand who really pays.
Exactly. And what the bigger economic picture looks like.
It makes sense why tariffs get attention, though. On the surface, taxing foreign goods seems like, well, an obvious way to help local companies protect jobs here.
That whole putting America first idea, it
Yeah.
sounds straightforward.
Very. The assumption is the other country pays.
But the statement we read was pretty direct about that, wasn't it?
It was. It said, let me get this right. Tariffs are not paid by China or Europe or Mexico.
Right.
Tariffs are taxes, and they're paid by you, by us.
Okay, so break that down. How does that actually work on the ground?
Well, it's fairly simple mechanics, really. A company imports something, say car parts or washing machines. The tariff is an added tax they have to pay at the border.
Okay.
So that business now has higher costs. To stay profitable or just afloat, they often have to raise the price of the final product.
The product that we buy. So cars, appliances, clothes, even food. The price goes up for us.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's the domestic consumer or the businesses buying those imported goods that ultimately bear the cost.
So that talking point, the one about other countries paying, it's misleading according to this source.
Yes, that's the argument here. The initial cost lands domestically.
And it doesn't stop there, right? It's not just about the price tags we see. There are bigger ripples.
Oh, absolutely. A major one is retaliation. The statement points this out clearly.
Like a trade war kicking off.
Exactly. When the U.S. raises tariffs, other countries tend to hit back with their own tariffs on our goods.
Ah, okay. So our exporters get hurt.
Precisely. The source mentions farmers specifically. Maybe they can't sell their soybeans or corn overseas because suddenly there are huge taxes on them.
And manufacturers too, I imagine, losing foreign customers.
Yes, fewer foreign buyers means less demand for American-made products. And the result, the source says jobs are lost here, growth slows down.
And it affects the whole global system.
Right. The source uses that line, when the global economy suffers and when it suffers, no one wins. It paints a picture of interconnected pain.
It also pushes back hard on this idea of tariffs as a sign of strength. It uses the term economic isolation.
Yeah, calling it not patriotism, it's a prison. That's quite a strong phrase.
It really is. The argument seems to be that these walls don't actually achieve the stated goal.
Right. The source says, Trump's trade war didn't build factories, it built walls, suggesting that instead of protecting jobs, it might have actually encouraged businesses to move elsewhere to avoid the tariffs.
So it relocated them, as the quote goes.
And again, the statement keeps circling back to who bears the brunt of all this.
Everyday people, middle-class families, small business owners. It says you.
It's a consistent theme. The costs land on ordinary citizens.
But it's not all negative framing, is it? Does the source offer, like, an alternative vision?
It does, towards the end. It shifts to talking about a different path, one based more on partnership, investing in people.
Meaning things like education, innovation.
Exactly. Education, innovation, and pursuing fair trade agreements, rather than relying on tariffs as the main tool.
So it's kind of a call to action for the listener, for you, to look deeper.
Yeah, it urges people to question what you hear, follow the money, and really grasp the impact when slogans become policy.
Understand the real-world cost.
Right. Because as it concludes, the impact of these big decisions often falls hardest on the average person. It ends with this sort of hope for trade that actually works for everyone.
Okay, so boiling it down, the key message from this source is tariffs might seem like they target other countries, but they function like domestic taxes paid by us and can trigger these broader negative economic waves.
That sums it up well. Higher prices at home, retaliatory tariffs hurting exports, and a drag on overall growth.
Which leaves us with a final thought for you listening. How do you see these kinds of global trade policies playing out in your own life or in the economy around you? And beyond tariffs, what could paths toward economic strength that focus on cooperation, not isolation, actually look like? Something to think about.